Welcome to the Human Safety Net auditorium. We are going to start this morning with a very interesting conference about how we can change the way we educate our children and how we could help them to better connect to nature. So this is why we have two incredible guest speakers. Axel, who is going to speak about the Gunter fable that he wrote for his own children, but now it's a big success around the world, and we think it could be also very helpful for the Venetian children. And who is working with Chiara Pastroini. Chiara is one of our Sumus godmother, and she invented 10 years ago a new methodology to help the children have a better confidence in themselves and be able to express their emotions and work in a better team with the other children. So I'm not going to describe this in details. It's their time now.
Thank you, Hélène, for the presentation. Hiyon, you start to speak?
Yeah, I will start this. We wanted to have it informal, and that's why we are sitting here together, just to share our visions on education and on critical thinking. So maybe first of all, thank you for inviting us to this wonderful festival. I'm really proud and honored to be here with you today. And this morning, we wanted to propose you a journey where we can weave together philosophy, creativity, imagination, and education. The heart of the project is to support children to become thoughtful and creative thinkers through a holistic approach of philosophy. The method we are developing in our association, but also through the fables of Gunter Pauli, is to invite not only mind in the thinking, but also the body, the senses, experience, and it's totally a new approach to the pedagogy of children. So maybe I will start by introducing you the association Les Petites Lumières. It was created by Chiara Pastroini, who is an Italian philosopher and author. It is an association that is based in Paris, but our actions take place all over the world, in China, in Korea, and here in Venice, she comes and forms adults to become what we call practical philosophers. And she has a very nice idea, that we share all in this association, which is to bring philosophy to the children, but also teenagers and adults in a joyful manner. And our aim is to show that thinking is something very fun, because today children have maybe sometimes hard time to think and to express their thinkings, but the idea is that no, thinking is really fun, and we want to develop this idea. Our actions take place mostly in schools, but we also intervene in cultural places such as libraries and theaters and museums. I will show you some pictures later. And a few weeks ago, for example, we did a walk in the forest where we invited children to discuss on the relationship between humans and nature. And through all the rest that was 1 hour long, we really talk about what is nature, what is the place of human beings, and well, the thinking was present all over the work. So we don't teach philosophy. We don't teach Plato and Aristoteles. We teach thinking skills. And the idea is that we accompany the children in the discovery of life and in thinking the world. And I think that's one of the common points we have with Gunter Paul.
Observation and thinking. Yeah.
Observation and thinking and experimentation. Yeah. So I will go very, very fast about the basis of our philosophy, if I can say. The philosophy of children was first developed by a philosopher who's called Matthew Lipman in the 1970s. And he explains that when he teaches philosophy to his students, he's upset to see them lacking the thinking by their own. So they're very good students. They are able to explain things, they are able to recite again things that they have read, but they have difficulties in explaining their own thinkings. And he thought that maybe the problem was not, of course, the students, but the way through life they arrived in building their thinking. And he said, well, maybe thinking has to start earlier, not in university, but much earlier. And as Gunter Pauli, he wrote texts for children in order to invite them to philosophy. And that's how philosophy for children started. And well, he was a disciple of John Dewey, who's one of the founders of pragmatism, and who thought that education is a link between experience, sensation, and community. And that's maybe something that brings also together that we don't want just to think, but we are thinking all together, and that's something very important.
Yes, the John Dewey, it's also an inspiration for the Gunter work.
Yeah. So I like very much this citation of Matthew Lipman, who said the aim of thinking skills programs such as philosophy for children is to help children become more thoughtful, more reflective, more considerate, and more reasonable individuals. And maybe that's one, I think it should be one of the main aims of our society in bringing and growing individuals who are reasonable to think by themselves and to take decisions about their life, but also about community, and of course the relation they have with nature. Yeah. So I will just, very, very quickly, the idea of the philosophy for children and the approach we have in our association is to link critical thinking, caring thinking, because we are not just thinking by our own, but we are thinking in a community with other children, but also with adults. Collaboration, collaborative thinking, and of course creative thinking. And this is a main point in our association, that thinking doesn't come by itself, but it comes because we are experiencing something very creative. So it is called a holistic approach because we consider that a child is not just his body, but we consider the child as a whole person that comes with its intellect, its perception, its mind, and its body. And also it's a holistic approach because we take into consideration the human we have with us. And they are equals, they are considered as equals in the conversations we can have with them. And that's very important. We are not in a teaching system, but we are in a method of sharing something together. And the approach combines an artistic practice, which helps the philosophical process, meaning that when they live it with their senses and their experience, concepts such as justice, liberty, become more touchable, more easier to understand. So I just wanted to show you some of the realization we made with the children. So here we are at the Louvre Louvre Museum. It was workshop on still life. So we first visited the exhibition, and during the exhibition we had the discussion about the place of life, the relation between art and nature, and then there were the students were invited to create their own still life after, and continuing of course the discussion of their experience. So I can give you some more examples. This is an example of a realization of children that was done in the Picasso Museum about what is being different, and they had to produce some self-portraits with following the Picasso self-portrait method. And I can, here you have an example in a theater in the suburbs of Paris where the main discussion was about truth, what is real and what is truth, and we talk about, so I don't know if you know, that is the Plato's cavern, when people are attached in a cavern and somebody goes outside and finds the real world, and so they created a new, new approach. I mean, the same history, but imagined by themselves. So you see, during these practical activities, their thinking continues, and by this creative thinking, the thoughtful thinking is really get anchored in their existence. So this is another example of children experiencing circus and philosophy. So with simple chairs in a school where they try to do circus. That was very fun. And philosophy and music with all the senses. So all the senses are involved when thinking. And this is, you have some examples of children. I think these children were 4 years old. And so the main question was, is the human being an animal like any other? And they say, for example, well, we have hair, we have a mouth, but for the trees, but we don't have roots, for example, they said. And the trees, where are the arms and where are the hands? So we are at a 4 years old level, but still thinking is involved here. Yeah. And so I have some more examples just for the eyes, just for the senses of the eyes. Does art bring liberty? So this was with teenagers, and so at the end they had to create with paper and just scotch an animal or something that could represented for them liberty. And sometimes we are in the roads, and this is about, this workshop was about happiness, I think. No, it was about what's being free, and at the end, children had these designs and these writing in the outside in the streets. So, what are the benefits that we can see of this philosophy for children and the holistic method? Well, children become more confident. They are more motivated in learning by themselves because they understand things. It's not just the adult that teaches to them and say, that's how's life. They learn by themselves, by experiencing how it works. And they maybe this is a way also of learning to relate with themselves, with the others, and to the world. They have social engagement, they are better in communicating with the others, they are better also in communicating their own experiences and their own emotions, and they have these better cognitive, metacognitive skills that are developed. Philosophy for children also develop their psychosocial skills. So I don't know, in France it's something that is very discussed at the moment, even by the governments, but the psychosocial skills were developed by the World Health Organization as to define to the ability to develop a positive mental health. So the idea of health is not just curing ourselves, but maintaining a positive mental health. And if you look at all the social and emotional leanings, well, we can see that philosophy for children can be linked to all of the branches of soft skills. And so I'm linking it also to Gunter's tales because, well, I think we are doing the same thing with other methods, with other inducers, but the tales of Gunter Pauls, they are really nice inducers of critical thinking and all this part, but Axel will talk about us much better than me, are here also to develop critical and creative thinking and doing experimentation. So maybe Axel, you will present us the work by
Thank you for your presentation. Indeed, the Gunter's fable is just a way to access to all you need present. It's to develop the way to thinking for the children. Gunter often tells the goal is to have the children become an entrepreneur for the common good, to have this capability to involve himself to the common good. And we often tell we need a generations for the children can change the world. We need one generation. And for us, it's totally a mistake because no one can make change adult. It's them children. Because when your children at home tell you put that on the wrong garbage, on the wrong way, you don't do it this way, I learned at school that the parents are really changing their habits, and the education with children make the change of the world directly, not in one generation. So the story of Gunter, so Gunter Pauli is an economist, a pioneer in the entrepreneurship, and in the 1990s he developed a concept of zero emissions for all production, and this concept is nature don't produce waste. Humans are the only species producing waste, and if we think like nature, we have a whole circle concept, an ecosystemic way to think, and we don't have to produce waste. So he developed a whole concept named the blue economy. And the way is to be inspired by nature in our way to produce things. He have 6 children, and he asked himself, "Oh, I can teach to my children what I discover with scientists in all my day." So he started 30 years ago to write the Gunter's fables. Actually, the fables are in more than 100,000 schools in China. China have in all schools all the fables of Gunter's for a few reasons I will detail after. And now in Europe, I take the Gunter's fables, I make new editions, and I try to spread this concept. We can find them in Estonia or in South America. There is a lot of things. You can see here the one box of the Gunter's fables with 5 stories. There you have the story, for example, this one, all the whales and the dolphins fish with air bubble. And we have another fables in the next box named The King of Earths. The Earth you see here, it's the Earth of big blue whales. And no engineer in the world can be at that level of performance that's a Earth of a big blue whales. And the fables, it's named The King of Earths. So the approach of Gunter's, it's based also in the Dewey model or in the Paulo Freire, and also compatibility with Montessori or Freinet or all alternative education. And the goal, it's also in the blue economy, it's to have not just an educational model, but a business model available on our world. For Gunter, nature is a lot more performant than what we do. We can see, for example, if you have an iPhone, the chip on your iPhone is made on the white room, cost $10 billion or development. The nature makes better in the sea every day, at the same level of detail. So we really need to learn to observe the nature and to learn about nature, and the goal of the Gunter's fable is to play with children and to show to them how the nature is fantastic with a lot of surprise. And when we discover a surprise, we will learn how it's work, how we can explain, how we can share. So there is a lot of pedagogy. I will show you some part. Each fables I write in both languages, English and locally languages. For example, here it's English and French, but we can have English and Italian if I find something to spread in Italian the fables. After, you can have a topics named Did You Know? And these topics, for example, in these fables, Fishing Without Nets, you will know, for example, there is no stop in reproduction for the fish. The grandma fish make more babies than the young fish. And there is lot of more eggs with the grandma fish. And in a way to make fishing, we have the rules, we only fish the big fish. And it's like I tell to you, ecologically, I only cut the big tree. We directly see it's totally a misunderstanding of the biology. And when the children understand that, it tell we cannot continue to fish like that. And there is a lot of method. For example, in Alio Island, they teach to all fishermen to recognize male and female, and they always release the female, and after 5 years, the resource of fish are multiplied by 2 or 3. And like that, you can fish more, and you can fish more efficiently. It's one example of a good understanding of biology. After, we will have a topics named Think About It, and it's some ethical questions with children. It's totally what Jan speak before. We take few children and we speak how do you see fishing, or do you see the big boat fishing, or you want to have the link with this part, do you eat fish, and a lot of questions. And the goal is not to to explain to children, but to let the light come from them. After, it's like Yoni say, we need to make experiments. We need to act with the world, and there is always an exercise named do it yourself. And in the topic of the fables, we have one activities with children. And after we come on what the Gunter named the 5 intelligence. The first one is the science. You can see on this page you have 12 topics: mathematics, history, chemistry, biology, physics. This part can give the opportunity to children to explore the topic of the fables in a lot of different ways. And it's also for the teachers to have pluridisciplinary approach. A professor of history and a professor of physics can work together with children because there is a lot of information on the fables. I don't tell that before, but the fables are for children to 3 to 15. It's evolutive fables, because when they are young, they are inspired by the story and they have the surprise of the story. And at each moment they up the skill they have, they take more information, and when they are at university or college or they are older, they don't just be inspired, but they know how to do. And that's the goal of the evolutive fables. More you progress, more you can do and learn. The other part is the second intelligence, it's the emotional intelligence. The goal is we often do, we want the better of this world to our children, but we want also the better of our children for our world, and it's needed. And the emotional intelligence give the capability to develop empathy, to develop the way to connect each other. And in each fables, you have 2 different characters speaking together. For example, in this one, it's a whale and a dolphin. And for example, the children will recognize I'm curious and sympathetic like the dolphin, and the whales is with a lot of empathy, patience, and a lot of things, yes, vigilant. And after the children can be, oh, I am enthusiastic like a dolphin, and maybe my father is provocative like the monkey in other fables. And it's funny after to develop the capability to recognize ourselves or forces, and also why we how to interact with each other. One of the third intelligence is the art. For example, if I take a topic, we have why the zebra eye are black and white. The hair cone of the zebra. The white absorb less light and hot light from the sun. The black color absorb more temperature, and they create a difference in pressure and create a little whirling of air and make air cone and give to them their own way to regulate temperature. And like that, also the air movement bother the insect, the bugs and the mosquito to come to them. And so the zebra are less hit by malaria, for example. And all this fable is a lot of surprise. But when you have children with 5 years old, he cannot explain this part at this way. It's too complex. But when you ask him to draw a house, he will draw with black and white their drawing, and he just tell to you, I'm calling my home like a zebra. And it's like the goal of the art is the capability for children to express themselves complex things with very few and artistic things. And in each fables, you have a way to draw, to dance, to think, to create, to make art. and in 365 fables, because the collection of Gunter is 365 fables, you have more than 365 art exercise, so you can really develop science, art, and a lot of things. The fourth intelligence is the capability to making connections, the ecosystemic thinking. In the blue economy approach of Gunter, we cannot look on something separately. For example, our human body, we know in French individu, we cannot divide. Often when we go to health doctor or something like that, we have the doctor for the skin, the doctor for the brain, the doctor for the foot, and it's like the oriental way to think the health, it's to have a whole body comprehensions. We cannot have the liver and the lungs differently. So the approach of our ecosystem or nature or the way we manage waste, we cannot look separately. We need to have an ecosystemic thinking. And it's a real capability to develop to our children to make connection between things. And it's why in China, they recognize after 30 or 40 story, the children have the capability to link, okay, I can use the stone to make paper and the model of the butterfly to reflect the light to create color without chemical, so I can create, and you have a genius for children to think in lot of ways. And actually, our educative model are really one point, one teaching, one things, and it's very poor for children because children want to learn the world in one time. So it's the four intelligence, and in this part we will connect the topics of the fables. For example, here it's the way the dolphin and the whale fish with air bubble, and how they made and what is the benefits. And we connect with the pressure on the fish resource we have in our world, the challenge of humanity, the fact we make injury of lot of coral reef, we will lot of problem with fishing, and yes, it's to make the connection, or we can be inspired by dolphin and whales to implement new thing in the way we fish. And the last intelligence is the capability to implement, the capability to act and to become an entrepreneur. Because Gunter say often, the analysis paralyze. When you look, you learn. Okay, you are on your seat, you are sad, depressed, and you don't know why. You don't know how to. And the goal is to give to children one first act, to spread, to share, to act, and to be involved, to start action. And when you have 30 fable, 300 fable, you have 300 activity to go to the world and spread something. And it's a really good capability to children to express themselves, but like you tell, in the same level than adults. I know something, I know we can do more, and I not accept to destroy my planet if I know we can do more. And some young people are very, very determined to make the things change. Each fable are also inspired by a real entrepreneur, scientific, or adventurer, often woman. For example, this one is Claudia Correia. It's a marine biologist working in Portugal, and she works on the whales fishing way. And on her website, we make more documentation, interview. We publish her thesis, and we make a lot of things on that. And the goal of the Gunter model is really to develop new economic model, but with also this ethic for the common good. It's very important for him. And the goal is develop a new generation of entrepreneurship for the common good, where we will use all the waste we made to just not clean the waste, but to not produce other waste and to make a regenerative economy for our planet. Because there is a way to have more things with more benefits for human and more benefits for our planet. And when we have these three parts, it's totally durable. And like that is really the goal for Gunter. And we can have, for example, in this festival, all the biomimetic approach. For example, you see one people make materials with waste molds, or a young girl develop a propeller for boat or for pump without a fan, without the fan, and the way the meduse, blobbyfish, jellyfish, the jellyfish use. So you don't have all the engine on the ship, and for example for diving, it's less harmful, and you have a lot of implementations with more performance, more efficiency, more respect for the water, all the people, and like that is always a new way to think. And often the beginning it's okay, oh nature do, oh I can learn what is made. So that is the Gunter approach and the Gunter fables model. One thing I don't explain, one sentence I appreciate, it's Marshall McLuhan tell, the medium is the message. Gunter, with the Taiwan innovation, make this book are in stone, the stone papers. Actually, it's 80% of stone dust melt with PEHD. It's recycled plastic, and like that we use two waste to produce something can be used in 10 decades without problem. And it's an example of how we can consume waste and preserve our planet to create something for product these papers. You don't use any tree and any water. It's 100% mineral, and you can read underwater. It's very difficult to stretch, and the only problem is it's very heavy. It's 1 kilogram for that, but I often say it's the weight of knowledge. And I hold a lot of books, and for me it's a good way to make the gym. But it's one, when you tell to children, do you want a book in stone? The brain is always running, and it's very funny, and children to try to put water on, and they are, whoa. we tell them, do not do that with other books at home. But it's very funny to have this approach to discover all the, for example, the montres religieuses.
Oh, I don't know the word.
So,
it's an insect.
Yeah, some insect practice karate, or for there is lot of fables. I don't have all the story in English. Yeah, I will search for my wall, but it's very inspiring, and a lot of people just after the fail tell to us, okay, let's go. Where we come, where we go, let's go. And it's why Gunter is very inspiring, and tomorrow it will be with us on the morning with the discuss with the startup.
And maybe I will do some advertising.
We have the website here, and if you want to, I can show you after the model, the fable. I have a few ones, so I can explain to you more in detail after if you want.
So I hope we have shown you how powerful these new educative modes can change the world. And through these fables, through stories, through art, I think we can help children building a better world. Just that is, I think it's enough and hopefully we are trying to plant seeds for a more mindful and connected world, and we will be happy to see it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One example I can use in one fable we have, and the second box, the fable is named "I'm bored," je m'ennuie, and it's the link with in the fable we have 7 categories, and one of them is the ethics. And this one is the ethics, and it's the way the industrial make treatment of chicken, of pigs, of something like that, to have lot of individu in the same place. And for example, we cut the tails of the pig, or some the mouth of the chicken. Je sais pas, le bec. It's very specific word, so you understand. And at the end of the fables, we make the link with the harassment in school and the bullying effect. And we understand when the people annoying them all the day at school, the better way to find something interesting, it's I want to bother you. And when you have a young children bother other people, the way is not to punish him, is to find something more interesting than bother people. If you passionate someone, he doesn't have time to bother people. And the way on horse more educational system is to have knowledge so much attractive to children, they don't waste their time with bullying other people. And for example, in the next box, we will have a story named "It's Hard to Say Goodbye," and we talk about the funeral ritual of elephants, and it's the link with mourning, the connection with the death of some animals. And for example, the elephant or dolphin are a really deep link with the mourning. And when you have young children, and maybe lost a pet, maybe lost a grandparents, and you, for example, I have a son, 3 years, and his cousin lost her dog, and my son asked, but you tell me the dog is on the ground as on the sky. What happened? And another day, the wind is very strong, and he tell me, I'm afraid of the wind because the wind will come up, put me on the sky. And I was, okay, the concept is very complex for them. We need to take time to express, to explain them what is death, what is mourning, what is the link with, or we can express or expression or emotions. And often when something happens in the life, in the family of the children, the parents are not in the better way and the better moments to be the more patient, the more emotional, and something like that. And this kind of fables can have these topics, very specific, but it's so useful for people. We often have adults explain this part. When I lost something in my family, all my childhood changed. And it's very dramatic for a lot of children, and some pedopsychiatric analysts tell to us it's a very strong educative way, educative tools to talk about one subject, but not very directly. We explain a story, we make comparison, we make inspiration, and I think it's also a good way to be inspired by nature, because the link in the society, the way to make cooperation. For example, we have a story about the cooperation of the hippopotamus and the fish to cleaning the tooth of the hippopotamus. It's very funny, and like that you can explain the cooperation between different characters, different people, and we don't have to be the same strong like the Disney, the hero, no, we don't have one hero. We have 365 heroes, and we are all the heroes to make change for this planet. And each one have his own way to express, and the children have to find this way. And it's also what you explained before. And yes, we develop these tools, and also we develop all the different approach, pedagogical approach to express. For example, we talk yesterday in Japan. They use the paper theater. They named the Kimishigai, and it's a way to express a story. But in Brazil or in Estonia, it's completely different. And our goal is to make documentation for each teacher or parents can find the way she is comfort with to share and express, and there is no one way for every people and every link. So it's a big tools, and every people can use at its own way.
I think we are at the end, and maybe we have questions, but thank you very much.
I think I give you a microphone like that.
Yeah.
It's easier for questions.
Yeah.
Do this one work? It's work. Oh, thank you very much.
It works.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. I hope it's recorded. So I hope we can, because I will, if it's possible and if you allow, we will take the recording, and I would like to share it with my own network. We all have our own networks, and so to spread it, I didn't know how to talk about the fables. No, I know. I just take the recording and I will just show it. What I find amazing is there are a lot of methods, and what I find interesting is all the proofs that it works. Because the difficulty is not to find a new way to do something, 101 or whatever, is to prove that it was sustainable, that it has worked over more than 1 year. Many people have many good ideas. The problem is, who can say after 10 years, I have touched how many children, and they became what? And what you showed with benefits, we have other examples in my own network of things. I'm amazing, even if it's only 200 children, but the proof that after, when they have experienced this, and when they become an adult, the university analysis, so the science, ask them and show them again, and they become better people. And it's not only a better world, the world can do without people, but to make better people, that's the whole thing. And to prove that after 10 years, because of that, they can say, 10 years ago, I was exposed to Petites Lumières or les fables, everything. And I know, it's not like Disney. Of course, you don't know what I do, but it's very nice and easy to say we are not like Disney. And here in Venice, it's like Disney. I would prefer to take the good things of Disney, because there are so many good things that we all know, including from Disneyland and so, to apply, instead of saying, let's concentrate, and that's what I love in this festival, is let's concentrate on the positive. So even Disney, this Gunter fable, ask Gunter if Disney was not part of his childhood.
Yeah.
When you look at the things.
Yeah.
So it's nice, and thank you very much, and if we can share it with others, with your permission, I would be delighted.
With a lot of pleasure. Actually, it's also one of the parts, the difficult part of the project is to spread, to print, to all logistical things. And yes, it's why I explained if we can reach the Italian language to spread for Italian, and we can have in a lot of country. One thing I don't explain about the Chinese model, and in the 23 COP, the Ministry of Environment of Chinese explained the last 15 years they use the fable in Chinese. They estimate 240 million children touched by the message. and it's impressive. And when Gunter go to Chinese, they make inauguration of school where 300 children make theaters about fables, the strongest tree of the forest, and a lot of things. For the Disney sentence I made, I totally agree with you, and I make, for example, link with Disney or Pixar. For example, they make Soul. It's just you cry the half of the event. The link is in each fables you can see on this whale there is a little hurt, and there is a concept on the fables. It's all characters always have a hurt. For example, we have fables about the panda and the bugs, les cafards, je sais pas.
Yeah,
And cockroach, thanks. And the goal is not to make judgment and comparison for the value, but we observe the way they can be adapt to our environment. The panda eats only one thing on the planet. The cockroach can eat everything and adapt in every environment. But the objective is to observe and not make judgment. And it's why the Chinese accept the Gunter's fables, because with the Confucianism, there is this philosophy with there is not one people holding the story and a hero. And it's why often in the Disney there are always one hero on the story, and it's a lot of Disney are fantastic, but it's a new way to show it's on the communities. With every heroes of the communities we can build together and have something very strong. And I'm very interested to know what you do. And for example, in the Gunter fables we have a lot of potential to make animations, to make video games, to make lot of application for everything. Yes.
So maybe I can just add our association, we are working, for example, in some parts of suburbs in France, for example, in Sarcelles, in Trappes. And we know, because we are intervening now for around 10 years, how it can change the children. And I even had the opportunity to do a workshop in the presence of Gabriel Attal when he was a minister, and we hope that things could change even through governments. There was the idea that they could replace the education morale and moral and civic education to philosophical discussion, but it didn't happen. But we are planting seeds, hoping that, like the presentation, the fantastic performance we had yesterday, that at one point they will become bushes and trees. But now we are planting seeds.
And can you tell us a little more practically, business?
Yeah.
When, how much, how do I buy? How do you make this Petites Lumières session? Just to make practical next step.
Yes. I create the Blue Education. It's an editing business. We print ourselves. It's auto-edited. One of our difficulties is stone paper. It's more expensive than classic paper. So all the big distribution group want specific benefits margin or something like that. So we cannot adapt ourselves to them, but actually we are really a little project, and it's very difficult. I don't have the network for spread all the world, so it's very my difficult part. One fables, it's 12 euros in France. We can adapt locally, and we actually send in our website. I send in all Europa, and we cannot send one fables. It's ecologically not interesting. So we send by 5. So a box of 5 is 62 euros. So the first to start is expensive, but it's stone paper, and as you look at 10 euros in France, you have some story of 6 or 8 page with a very few content. And here you have 40 pages, and the book can follow your children and all the story. So we have really a good product, but the business part is actually the difficult, because a good part of the team is volunteer, and we fold ourselves the box, we ship ourselves we all it's do in my home with my companion. My son of 3 years helped me to put in the shipping way. So it's very artisanal, but we have whole to spread. For example, actually we work on the fable in Arabic, and Arabic languages is common to all countries. So with Arabic, I open 15 doors.
Because I was thinking about that, because I saw on the website before preparing for this festival the Arabic, and I just have a contact with a client who contacted me last week to do a project in Saudi Arabia. So I was thinking exactly about that. So I was interested.
Exactly, and we try, for example, European fund or concours challenge European, and we don't be pick, but we on the development objective on 230, or for some big company, for the gift for the employees, we match all the criteria of ecology, of pedagogy, of new modern educative way, tous les critères RSE, les ODD de développement. On correspond à tout, but we actually have a lot of difficulty to make connection. And the main part also of the project is we do shipping, we do the website, we do the captation, we do when we do it all, you cannot do the best way. So it's very a beginning.
And Petites Lumières, how are you involved? And does it work? I mean, who does that?
I think it works. It's Chiara Pastorini who manage everything, and now she's been known. I think in France the association is quite known, and she's doing a bit of publications also. So she's writing books for children, and but of course we would like to spread it overall. And in Venice, she comes and she forms the adults to become practical philosophers. So maybe you want to add something?
Yes, we started 3 years ago to train the Venetian people who are volunteers. It's not enough, but we have trained to this methodology, I think, something like 30 people. And our dream is to help all the teachers, the people who manage libraries in Venice, all the people who are in contact with children and also with teenagers, to be able to manage this type of circle of little lights. It doesn't require any particular skills, so it's open to everyone, in fact. And yes, my dream will be that all the Venetian children have the possibility to be part of this type of circles, because we are convinced that they will jump from this level of consciousness to this level of consciousness. And if we combine the two, the methodology on one hand, plus the fable of Gunter Paoli on the other hand, then we can have an incredible, powerful tool to help them better understand and contribute one day to a better future. Yes, It's true, we are planting the seeds. It's not so easy because we have a disruptive approach, but we try to convince the Venetian that this is the future and Venice can become the pilot city. So, and this is why just after this panel, we will have 2 workshops with 2 teachers of Les Petites Lumières, with 2 different fables of Gunter Pauli to demonstrate. And we have, I think, 30 children coming, and it will be in the rooms just behind the auditorium. But if you can help us spread the word, not just in Venice, but everywhere, we will be so happy. Because a lot of people today, they complain about what is going on, and they are feared about the future for themselves and for their children. And what we say with Sumuz is that the future has not to be feared. The future has to be built. And we are trying to invite pioneer people who can really help change the story for humanity in a better world. This is what we are doing. So everybody can help us, please. And thank you.
Thank you very much. If someone wants to see the stone paper, or I have documentation with all the story of the fable, I can give it to you.
I think this is a nice experience. Just waiting the fables is a nice experience to have.
I have a whole luggage with 20 like that. You can experience also all the stairs to come here.
And I have a lot of nephews and nieces, and the Christmas gift that I give to them are fables of Gunter Pauli, because we can read the fables together. And even us, we learn a lot of things, in fact. So it's not just for the children, it's also for the adults.
Thank you very much.